You need to hear this if you're a travel enthusiast. It's America time. Hey guys, Jean-Claude Van Damme here. And listen up because we're about to embark on a journey. Just kidding about the Van Damme part. Forget your boring old staycations. We're talking about the good old US of A. That's right folks, America. Land of the free, home of the brave, and apparently home to like a zillion things you gotta see before you kick the bucket. And trust me, I'm not just saying that because I'm contractually obligated to. From sea to shining sea, this place has got it all. We're talking mountains that'll make you feel like you can touch the sky, beaches that'll make you want to work on your tan, and cities that never sleep. Seriously, they should really think about getting those cities some chamomile tea or something. So, whether you're a seasoned traveler with a passport full of stamps, or you're just starting to plan your bucket list, get ready to add some American flavor to it. We're about to dive into the top 10 reasons why visiting the USA should be at the top of your list. Get ready for some epic scenery, crazy adventures, and maybe even a hot dog eating contest or two. Hey, when in Rome, right? Or should I say, when in America? All right, let's do this thing. Chapter 2. From beaches to mountains, we got it all. First up on our all-American adventure, let's talk about the incredible diversity of landscapes, people. We're not talking about just a few different trees here, folks. I'm talking about going from sandy beaches where you can perfect your volleyball spike, or just work on your tan, to towering mountains that'll make you want to yodel. Imagine this, you start your day catching some rays on a beach in California, maybe even spot a celebrity or two. Then boom, you hop in your car, crank up some classic American road trip tunes, and a few hours later you're hitting the slopes in the Rocky Mountains. Talk about a change of scenery. And hey, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can always try snowboarding down a sand dune. Just make sure you wear goggles. Sand in the eyes is no joke. But seriously, the USA is like a giant playground for nature lovers. From the lush forests of the Pacific Northwest to the rugged canyons of the Southwest, there's something for everyone. It's enough to make you want to grab a pair of hiking boots and a selfie stick and go explore. Chapter 3. Landmarks. So iconic, they'll make you see stars. All right, folks, let's talk landmarks. And no, I'm not talking about your Uncle Steve's uncanny ability to find the nearest buffet. I'm talking about those iconic structures that scream America, louder than an eagle on the 4th of July. First up, we gotta give a big ol' shout out to the Statue of Liberty. Standing tall and proud in New York Harbor, Lady Liberty is like the ultimate welcome wagon for everyone visiting the East Coast. She's seen it all, folks, from waves of immigrants to flocks of tourists trying to get the perfect selfie. Speaking of selfies, you know what would be hilarious? If they put a giant selfie stick in Lady Liberty's hand. Can you imagine? Tourists would be lining up for days. We could call it Liberty's Selfie Stick Spectacular. Okay, maybe not my best idea, but you gotta admit, it's pretty handy. But seriously, the Statue of Liberty is more than just a photo op. It's a symbol of hope, freedom, and all that good stuff. So when you're standing there gazing up at her majestic beauty, take a moment to appreciate the history and the meaning behind it all. Or, just take a selfie, I won't judge. Alright folks, buckle up because we're diving into the concrete jungle, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, New York City. This metropolis is a living, breathing entity, pulsating with energy and excitement at every corner. And let me tell you, this place is bananas. From the towering skyscrapers to the bustling streets, there's always something happening. First off, you gotta ride the subway. It's not just a mode of transportation. It's a cultural experience. It's an experience, believe me. The subway is like the veins of the city, carrying the lifeblood of New Yorkers to their destinations. It's like a moving karaoke bar with surprise performances and everything. You never know what kind of talent you'll encounter. You might see a breakdancing, rat-talented little fella, or a guy doing magic tricks with pigeons. You never know. The subway is a stage and every ride is a new show. And speaking of never knowing, you can bump into anyone in New York. The city is a melting pot of cultures and personalities. You might be walking down the street and bam! There's Leo DiCaprio buying a hot dog. Or maybe it's just a really convincing lookalike. Either way, it's a story to tell. Either way, it's exciting, right? The city is full of surprises and unexpected encounters. New York's got energy, it's got pizzazz, it's got more yellow cabs than you can shake a stick at. These iconic yellow cabs are the lifeline of the city, zipping through the streets like bees in a hive. It's a whirlwind of excitement, and you'll love every second of it. The city never stops, and neither will you. Next up, we're heading west to the land of sunshine, celebrities, and maybe a sighting of my celebrity crush, Gwen Stefani, Los Angeles, baby. This city is a blend of glamour and laid-back vibes. You got your Hollywood Walk of Fame where you can pretend to accept an Oscar. It's a place where dreams are made and stars are immortalized. And don't forget the beaches, the sun, the sand, the surf. It's paradise. You can work on your tan, work on your volleyball skills, or just work on perfecting that California cool vibe. The beach is the heart of LA culture. Just try to avoid getting sand in your pants, am I right? It's all fun and games until you find sand in places you didn't know existed. But hold on, we gotta jet over to the Windy City, Chicago. This city is a blend of rich history and modern innovation. Now I'm talking deep dish pizza that's thicker than my jokes after midnight. It's a culinary experience you can't miss. It's a city full of amazing architecture, beautiful parks, and more bridges than a game of Oregon Trail. The skyline is a testament to human ingenuity. Between New York, Louisiana, and Chicago, you got the East Coast, the West Coast, and everything in between. Each city offers a unique slice of the American experience. It's enough to make you want to burst into song. The vibrancy and diversity of these cities are truly inspiring. Speaking of bursting into song, there's always music in the air no matter where you go. So what are you waiting for? Sign up and follow us for more videos. Don't miss out on the adventure. All right, let's talk about the good stuff, the food. America is a melting pot, and that means one delicious, glorious smorgasbord of culinary delights. We're talking everything from juicy burgers bigger than your head to authentic tacos that'll make you want a salsa. And let's not forget about the food trucks. They're like little culinary adventures on wheels. You can find everything from gourmet grilled cheese to lobster rolls to fancy cupcakes. It's a beautiful thing. And who could resist a good old-fashioned American diner? Pancakes stacked high, coffee that'll put hair on your chest, and enough bacon to make Ron Swanson jealous. Look, I'm not saying you'll gain the freshman 15 every day you're in America, but I'm not saying it either. Just embrace the deliciousness. But America's not just about the food, folks. We know how to party too. We're talking music festivals in the desert, tomato throwing festivals in small towns, and everything in between. We're a nation that loves a good time. Ever heard of Burning Man? It's this crazy festival in the Nevada desert where people build giant art installations and then burn them to the ground. Don't worry, it's all very safe and supervised, I think. Then you got Mardi Gras down in New Orleans, where it's basically a giant street party with beads, costumes, and more beignets than you can shake a stick at. Just try not to get hit by any flying beads. Or do, I'm not your mom. Look, no matter where you go in America, you're bound to stumble upon some kind of festival or celebration. It's just how we roll. We like to have fun, we like to let loose, and we definitely like to party. Okay, folks, get ready to have your minds blown. We're talking about the Grand Canyon, baby. This place is so big, so vast, so incredibly grand, that pictures just don't do it justice. You gotta see it to believe it. It's like Mother Nature took a giant carving knife and just went to town. And the colors? Don't even get me started on the colors. It's like a box of crayons exploded all over the place. You can hike down to the bottom if you're feeling adventurous. Or you can just take a leisurely mule ride. Or, you could just stand at the rim and stare in awe like I do. Seriously, I could stand there all day just saying, wow. It's the kind of place that makes you realize how small we really are in the grand scheme of things. Or maybe that's just the altitude. Next up, we're heading to Yellowstone National Park. It's got geysers that shoot water higher than a giraffe wearing a top hat. We're talking Old Faithful, folks. This geyser is so reliable, it's practically got its own watch. And don't even get me started on the hot springs. They're like nature's jacuzzi, but don't even think about hopping in. Unless you want to be boiled alive, that is, and nobody wants that. But Yellowstone isn't just about geysers and hot springs. You got mountains, forests, waterfalls, and more wildlife than you can shake a stick at. You might see bison roaming free, elk grazing peacefully, or even a grizzly bear if you're lucky. Or maybe unlucky, depending on how close you are. Just remember, folks, look but don't touch. These animals are wild and unpredictable, kind of like my dance moves. Alright folks, let's talk entertainment. And when it comes to the USA, we're talking top shelf A-list, standing ovation kind of stuff. You got Broadway in New York City, the city that never sleeps, probably because it's too busy watching incredible musicals. We're talking show tunes that'll get stuck in your head for weeks, elaborate costumes that would make Lady Gaga jealous, and enough jazz hands to power a small city. Seriously, these performers leave it all on the stage. Sweat, tears, sometimes even tap shoes flying into the audience. And hey, if you're lucky, you might even spot a celebrity or two in the crowd. You know, just casually brushing shoulders with Leo DiCaprio or Meryl Streep. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us, so grab your playbill, put on your fanciest outfit, even if it's just a nice pair of sweatpants, and get ready for a night of pure entertainment on Broadway. But hey, maybe musicals aren't your thing. Maybe you're more into the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Well, guess what? The USA has got you covered. We're talking the Walk of Fame, where you can literally walk in the footsteps of legends. And hey, if you see my star, feel free to give it a little rub for good luck. I'm just saying, it can't hurt. But Hollywood's not just about the stars on the ground, it's about the stars on the screen too. We're talking blockbuster movies, hilarious sitcoms, and those reality shows that are so bad they're actually good. You know the ones I'm talking about, and who knows, maybe you'll even get discovered while you're there. Hey, it could happen. Stranger things have happened in Hollywood. Like that time I accidentally cut Robert De Niro's hair while we were doing a skit. True story. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jimmy, this all sounds great, but what about a little culture? What about diving deep into the rich tapestry of history that the USA has to offer? A little history? Don't worry, my friend. The USA's got history oozing out of its pores. From the East Coast to the West, every corner of this vast country has a story to tell. From the moment you step off the plane, you're walking in the footsteps of historical giants. Imagine the countless events that have shaped the nation right under your feet. We're talking about places like Independence Hall in Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence was signed. This is where the Founding Fathers gathered to change the course of history. You know, that little document that basically said, "Hey Britain, we're out of here." It was a bold move that set the stage for the birth of a new nation. And let's not forget about Boston, with its cobblestone streets and stories of the American Revolution. Walking through Boston is like stepping back in time. You can practically hear the faint sound of Paul Revere yelling, "The British are coming." His midnight ride is legendary, a tale of bravery and urgency. Although these days, it's probably just someone trying to find a good cup of coffee. Boston blends the old with the new in a way that's uniquely charming. But hey, history isn't just about dusty old buildings and long-gone battles. It's alive and well, woven into the fabric of everyday life. It's about the stories we tell, the lessons we learn, and the legacy we leave behind. Every site, every monument has a story waiting to be discovered, and the USA has got stories for days. But wait, there's more. The museums here are treasure troves of knowledge and wonder, because no trip to the USA is complete without a visit to some of its incredible museums. These institutions are gateways to the past, present, and future. We're talking world-class institutions like the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., where you can literally spend days exploring everything from dinosaur bones to space shuttles. It's a place where curiosity knows no bounds. And if art's your thing, then boy, are you in for a treat. The art museums here are nothing short of spectacular. You got the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, in New York City, a haven for contemporary art lovers. The Art Institute of Chicago, home to an impressive collection that spans centuries. And the Getty Center in Los Angeles, just to name a few. Each museum offers a unique perspective and a chance to see the world through different eyes. We're talking masterpieces from every era, sculptures that'll make you question reality, and installations that challenge your perception, and paintings so beautiful you'll swear they're about to come to life. The brushstrokes, the colors, the emotions, they all tell a story. And hey, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can always try to recreate that scene from Night at the Museum. Just imagine the fun. Just, maybe don't bring anything to life. Trust me, it's not as fun as it sounds. I learned that lesson the hard way with a T-Rex skeleton. Let's just say it was a roaring good time until it wasn't. Let's just say it involved a lot of screaming and a very awkward apology to the museum staff. So, enjoy the history, soak in the culture, but maybe leave the reanimation to the movies. All right, shopaholics, this one's for you. Because when it comes to shopping, the USA is like a giant all-you-can-buy buffet for your wallet. From coast to coast, you'll find everything your little heart desires. And probably a few things you didn't even know you needed. We're talking luxury brands on Fifth Avenue in New York City, where you can drop some serious dough on designer handbags and shoes that cost more than my car. Hey, I'm not judging. If you got the cash, flaunt it. And for those who prefer to hunt for bargains, there are outlet malls galore. We're talking designer duds at discount prices. It's like winning the lottery, but instead of winning money, you win a new wardrobe. But hey, shopping in the USA isn't just about the big names and fancy department stores. It's also about discovering unique boutiques, quirky vintage shops, and those one-of-a-kind finds you won't see anywhere else. Speaking of unique finds, you gotta check out the local markets and flea markets. We're talking handmade crafts, vintage clothing, antique treasures, and enough food stalls to satisfy every craving imaginable. It's like stepping back in time, but with better snacks. And hey, if you're feeling brave, you can always try your hand at haggling. Who knows, you might even score yourself a sweet deal. But the real beauty of shopping in the USA is the sheer variety. Whether you're looking for high-end fashion, quirky souvenirs, or just a good deal, you're guaranteed to find it here. Just maybe set a budget before you go. Trust me, your credit card will thank me later. And hey, if all else fails, you can always borrow some clothes from a mannequin. I mean, they're not using them, right? All right, sports fans, buckle up. We're talking about sports culture in the US of A, baby. And let me tell you, it's a big deal. It's not just about the games, it's about the entire experience. From coast to coast, Americans love their sports, and they're not afraid to show it. We're talking face paint, foam fingers, and jerseys signed by their grandmothers, hoping it counts as a family heirloom one day. It's a tradition passed down through generations. Oh, and the stadiums? Forget about it. These are architectural marvels, designed to hold tens of thousands of screaming fans. They're like giant, roaring coliseums dedicated to the gods of football, baseball, basketball, you name it. Each sport has its own unique atmosphere and traditions. The energy is electric, the crowds are wild, and the hot dogs, well, let's just say they're an experience. These aren't your average hot dogs, they're a culinary adventure. You gotta try one, at least once. It's part of the whole sports culture experience, just, maybe not right before you need to squeeze into an airplane seat. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Just trust me on that one. The satisfaction of a stadium hot dog is unparalleled. And speaking of legendary sporting events, let's talk about the Super Bowl. It's not just a game, it's a national holiday. People take it seriously, planning for months in advance. Seriously, people plan their whole year around it. The parties are epic, the commercials are funnier than my monologue on a good day, and the halftime show, let's just say they've got more fireworks than a 4th of July celebration in, well, the entire USA. It's like the Olympics, the Grammys, and a giant potluck all rolled into one. It's a spectacle you have to see to believe. You haven't lived until you've experienced the Super Bowl madness. It's a cultural phenomenon. And hey, even if football isn't your thing, there's something for everyone. Baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, you name it, America's got it, and they've got it in spades. Each sport has its own dedicated fan base and unique traditions. Just be prepared to shout yourself hoarse cheering with the locals. The camaraderie is infectious. Trust me, experiencing the sports culture in the USA is like jumping into a giant human wave of enthusiasm. It's a roller coaster of emotions. You might get a little sweaty, but that's part of the fun. You might lose your voice, but it's all worth it. But you'll definitely have a story to tell. These are memories that last a lifetime. And hey, if you catch a foul ball, maybe you can even sell it and pay for your trip. It's the ultimate souvenir. Okay, folks, let's talk about the people, the heart and soul of America, the reason this country is called a melting pot. You've got folks from every corner of the globe bringing their own unique flavors, stories, and dance moves. It's like a giant, ongoing block party where everyone's invited. You never know who you're going to meet, a cowboy hat-wearing Texan, a surfer dude from California, or a Broadway star hailing a cab in New York City. And the best part? Americans are generally a friendly bunch. They'll happily give you directions even if they have to draw you a map on a napkin with lipstick. They're quick to offer a smile, a how y'all doing, and maybe even invite you to join their backyard barbecue. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about the language barrier? Don't you worry your little heads about that? Americans are masters of charades and interpretive dance when it comes to communication. Plus, with all the different cultures, you might even pick up a few new phrases yourself. Who knows? You might come back from your trip saying y'all and howdy with the best of them. But seriously, the diversity of the people is one of the most beautiful things about the USA. It's a tapestry of cultures, traditions, and accents all woven together into one vibrant, crazy quilt. And trust me, you'll be richer for the experience of meeting folks from all walks of life, so come on down, y'all. The USA is waiting with open arms, ready to share its stories, its laughter, and maybe even a slice of apple pie. Just, watch out for the double cheek kiss. It's not as common as you might think. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 reasons to visit the USA before you kick the bucket, buy the farm, shuffle off this mortal coil. You get the idea. From majestic mountains to dazzling cities, iconic landmarks to friendly faces, the USA is a country that will take your breath away. And trust me, I know funny, and these reasons, they're no joke. So what are you waiting for? Dust off your passport, pack your bags, and get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Start planning your trip to the good old US of A today. And hey, if you see a guy who looks suspiciously like me on a roller coaster, come say hi. Just, maybe not while I'm screaming my head off. I don't want to scare the children, or the adults for that matter. Sign up and follow us for more videos.